Alrighty, boys and girls, thank you very much for tuning in back to episode 6 of Truth Seekers. I'm here with my good friend Philip, Porky in the back.
Hello.
Also my good friend. And basically this afternoon, we're going to start by answering the questions we had on the last podcast like usual, and then we're going to move on to our next podcast. Today the vibe is going to be a little more chill because next week we actually have a distinguished guest coming on. We won't tell you who it is yet, but we're going to be talking about education, and a very important topic. And basically education can change the world, nations completely, because if you shape the minds of the young people, they're going to be the future. And so we have important things to discuss about that on our next podcast with our distinguished guest, which we will reveal later in the week after we post the podcast. So stay tuned for that. And there you go. We're going to go with the questions, I think.
All right, well, we'll start with the first one. So it was about Tesla. So we talked about a lot about Tesla and self-driving cars last week. And basically, the question is, how does a Tesla react in difficult weather conditions? So let's say there's ice everywhere, like in Quebec, it happens quite often. Ice, there's a verglas happening. What does it do? Is it still better than a human? I'm guessing the answer is yes. It's calculating everything perfectly. But what's happening when the weather's shit and you're with your Tesla?
So, okay. So I'm going to approach the question as how the Tesla is right now, and then after in the when it gets to its full potential of self-driving in a couple of years.
Okay, yeah.
So basically, let's say right now with the capabilities they have, Elon Musk, he's been asked the question. And in the snow right now, it's not great, right? Because the neural network right now, the AI, is trying to detect lines. It's very good at detecting drivable area. So if you see the way it thinks, there's a visual representation of the way it thinks. Yeah. The road is drivable area. So it knows to be there and it won't go off-road and do stupid things. So first of all, it's going to stay on the road. Let's say for normal snow, just a normal snowy day in Montreal. Okay, it would know to stay in the road, and looking at other cars, it can stay in lanes relatively to other cars, right? So it would be okay with that. Obviously, it's not perfect right now, and when it knows what it doesn't know. So let's say it's getting very low percentages of confidence of where it should be, where it should go, the cars around it, because everything's white or something. First of all, right now, it would tell the driver, it would ding, 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 vibrate the steering wheel and tell that person, okay, take control now. I'm not able to do this right now, so take control if it doesn't know how to do it. But if it knows how to do it, and Elon Musk has said within the next year or two, it's going to get much better in the snow, because we just recently started getting Tesla Model 3s in Canada, and an important amount enough for the... Because like we talked last time, the more cars on the road, the better it learns, because they're always testing stuff and sending back data to Tesla. So basically now there are enough Model 3s that he literally says after this winter or the one after, the cars are going to be as good in the winter as the summer. Because it hasn't been getting a lot of training in the snow or ice and stuff like that. But that's the difference though. In the snow, it doesn't see properly, let's say, right now, because it can't really detect things, but it will get better at that. But let's say now in 5 years where the system's perfect, okay? Yeah. And it works in the snow. And let's say you're in a huge storm and there's a bunch of snow everywhere or ice and you can't see anything. What it usually relies on are its visual cues, like we said, computer vision. So just like a human, the cameras. But it also has some radars in the front and around it. So unlike humans, it can see through fog. It can see through mist, through snow. It would be able to detect if there's a car ahead. Let's say you're speeding and there's a car stopped because there's a crash or something. It would know, because even if it doesn't see it with the computer vision side of things, the radar would detect something. There's an object there, so it's going to slow down. Whereas a human would not, because he wouldn't see it. So it has the advantage of having those two types of it has two ways of getting its data: visual data and radar data. Whereas humans only have visual. It's the most important one, and in 98% of the cases, it's the one that will get you the best amount of detail and take the best decisions on a sunny day all the time. It's better to have visual data versus a radar. Yeah. But in those situations, it has the radar, so it's going to be much safer. There's also the added fact that since they're electric motors, on ice they perform really well, because Right now, you've probably heard of the term traction control in your
Yeah.
car. Anytime your wheels start spinning, and when you have a car that has four-wheel drive, all the wheels are pushing the car, let's say, it's much harder to spin because if one wheel is spinning, or even if they're all spinning, you're kind of still going to get a direction because everything's pushing you.
Yeah.
But the majority of cars are either front-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive, or just two wheels are driving the car, pushing the car, let's say. If they lose control, if one of the wheels lose control, you already have half of your wheels losing control, which is not good.
Yeah.
And basically when they start spinning, the car can detect fairly quickly, normal cars, let's say 2 times per second or 10 times per second, if the wheel starts spinning, it detects that it has no more traction, okay?
Yeah.
It will slow down the wheel, so like it applies brake to the wheel so that the wheel can once again, like it can stop and then restart and gain its traction back on ice, let's say.
Yeah.
But electric motors, since just by design they're electric and they have like a little sensor inside the wheel, they're like, because electric motors are usually much closer to the actual wheel, there isn't a whole drivetrain connecting the two.
Okay.
It's usually just electric motor than wheel. It can detect at like much higher speeds if the wheel is spinning and fix that. So like I think it's like 100 times a second or 1,000 times a second. It can like imagine that, like every thousandth of a second it can detect if the wheel is spinning and do like micro adjustments for you not to spin.
Yeah.
So they're much safer on ice. You won't spin out or fly around and stuff like that. So in general, it is a safer car. And then like we were talking about the self-driving part. Right now, I don't know how well it does in the snow. Like people with Model 3s can tell me better. Like but the car will tell you if it can't handle the situation and will tell you either don't activate autopilot right now, or it's activated and it'll say, okay, right now I don't know what to do. Please take control.
So it's gonna get better.
But it's gonna get better, exactly, and it will 100% be fine in snowy conditions and stuff like that. It's just a matter of time.
Once again, it's by collecting like the data,
Exactly.
and just the car basically adjusting to the snow and all the weather conditions. So it's going to be by driving Tesla that this problem is going to be fixed eventually.
The more people drive it in the snow, the better the Tesla's going to be.
Such a good like system.
But that's the whole point of AI.
It's basically a computer driving in the street and collecting the data and improving on it. So, okay. Basically, we're going to be able to drive a Tesla in Quebec eventually.
Yeah, very soon.
All year long.
All year long.
Well, that's great. And the second part of the question was about, I don't know how it's called in English actually, les routes intelligentes. I don't know if you actually know, I just discovered about it. So, but it looks really nice. So basically like, what's it called in English, do you know?
Some smart roads, I guess.
Smart roads, yeah, okay. So basically what I saw is that these are roads that are helping the drivers, basically. So a road that would tell you when someone's crossing, let's say. Someone's walking, well, you see the light coming from the road, or just in general, when it's dark and you can't see anything, you would like flash on the side of the road to help you. Some will even like help you to get electricity back to your motors if like you have a good tire that could, use the friction to its advantage. So like basically a new road system that would be eco-friendly, also not polluting as much as the roads right now. So would be a great idea.
If you can pull up right hexagon smart road, a picture of it so people can visualize it. Continue.
But well, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you know more about this than me.
Well, I haven't read it. I haven't read up a lot on it, but there's a bunch of cool parts. First of all, it's modular, so it's a bunch of hexagon or pentagons or whatever octagons that you place one after the other.
Yeah, it's like
So first of all, if one breaks, you can replace it, right? It's not like asphalt where you'll have to re-asphalt the whole road or something like that. So one breaks, no potholes, just replace that piece. It's done. And basically there's a bunch of possibilities. One, they can wirelessly charge your cars. Some manufacturers are starting to come out with wireless chargers, so now you will never need to charge your electric car because it'll be wireless charging as you're driving. There's other things. Lanes. Let's say there's a lane here. Let's say there's construction one time and they want to change the lanes. Instead of cones, they might put cones still at the beginning, but they can reroute basically the let's say there's the original lane like this. They'll put like yellow lanes because it's computers, right? It's like a bunch of screens on the ground, right? So that you can make the lanes turn a little more, or like go out of lane, or like you can do a bunch of things. You can do first of all, they can be heating so that no ice. Let's say there starts to be snow or ice on the ground, they auto heat, they melt the ice, and they take care of the water afterwards. Basically, there's a bunch of things they can do. You can also make them eco-friendly by doing like putting solar panels, so all that heating or those lines that they're making, like they're virtual lines, let's say, like they're painting the lines on the ground, they can all be charged automatically through solar panels, stuff like that. Take a picture of this one. This one was a concept that I saw like recently. So basically, it's a bunch of
hexagon.
Those are hexagons, yes.
Yeah.
And basically, not wireless charging. I don't know if those ones were wireless charging, but they had solar panels in them. You can like all those green lights, you can remove them, and then like basically just put your lanes in white or whatever. Basically, there's like a million possibilities with this. I don't know how fast people are going to be to implement this, if the tech is even possible yet. I think it's all prototypes and stuff like that, but the future
but
is...
it's really nice because, there's roads everywhere. So if we can improve the roads and make it actually like more efficient, because right now it's basically useless. It's just for you to go and drive. It's pretty useful, but it doesn't do anything else. But now with the technology, we could there's so much possibility. Just imagine driving and your car gets all the energy from the ground. You don't even have to charge your car anymore. An
interesting thing, how many square kilometers of road there are on Earth? I have no idea what the number is,
probably,
but it's massive.
Well,
but roads today are black, right?
Yeah.
And black absorbs heat.
Yeah.
So people are thinking of painting them white or doing things like this that can push back the heat back into at least the atmosphere and even maybe into space, you reduce a little bit of the greenhouse effect that Earth is having. Better for the planet.
Yeah, true. Well, true also.
Also, like for these like hexagon like floors, let's say like an animal crosses the road, would like the floors like light up and show that something's crossing the road, or is that not something that it will?
I have no idea how that would work, but they probably could, like with some sensors or something.
Okay. No, but I saw a video about it. Like when someone's crossing, you can see like there's light coming from the road. Like I don't know, it just recognizes that someone is walking there.
Like it's not the weight of a car. It's like less.
Yeah,
weight,
exactly. So it's a prototype.
Yeah, obviously.
Prototype, but it's really nice. Like it's an awesome idea. Didn't know about it before. So great question. Thank you very much about that. We can now go to the second question from one of my good friends, Jean-Marc. This one is about blockchain and more about the economy and a bit of government also. Good question. So he was asking me why, he was asking us why the blockchain technology wasn't really like pushed forward by the government and the banking system. Like we can see that with a lot of technologies, the government is doing great efforts to implement them in the society after, but with the blockchain, not so much. It's really like a thing on the side that you can invest in if you want, or if you believe in it, yeah, you go. But you don't see the government like taking action. Now you can pay with a Bitcoin, I don't know, your taxes or anything, So they're basically not pushing it forward. And he was asking us why this technology doesn't seem to be pushed forward by the government. What I think is, first of all, from what you told me last week, blockchain doesn't allow the government or the banking system to like have any control over the economy. It's basically like a fair platform where everything is transparent and everything is actually what it is.
But there are variants of platforms like Ripple or stuff like that are more made for banks and that they have more control. You can build something based on blockchain that does still have a certain amount of centralized control. Just saying, it's possible.
Well, okay, so maybe that's the road that the path that you're gonna choose.
Probably.
Because right now, like the main reason that I would see why they're not pushing this technology forward is the fact that they have so much control right now. Whereas with the blockchain, they just don't have any control, and the control they're actually not using it properly at all. Like they're not doing great stuff with it. They're inventing new products, toxic products that are causing some economic crisis. One that is coming pretty soon, actually. The 2008 was basically just the banking system doing what the hell they wanted to do for like more than a decade. And they're just, they're writing the rules of the game, basically, the game that they're playing. So right now with the blockchain, you just remove them from power. So I don't think the banking system is interested at all in the, first prototype of the technology where it's all neutral, transparent, actually nice because they don't have control. If they can implement this kind of system with like a centralized power over it, I think that's the path that they're gonna take. But for now, it seems that it's a dangerous technology actually for them, because it is actually, before you needed banks, you just needed them. With this, not so much, because of the computers and how fast the money can go from a place to the other right now.
No, it's crazy. You
don't need it anymore.
You can send $4 billion to some person in your relative in Africa or something in the matter of seconds, and it would cost you very little in mining fees.
Yeah.
Whereas if you do that with a bank, it would cost you another $1 billion.
Yeah.
And it would take 17 days.
But banks is I'm telling you, it's one of the most fucked up things you're ever gonna look at. Like, if you get into it, you just can't believe what you're seeing. Like, these are the worst people on earth. One of the worst kinds. Well, I'm not talking about every banker, but the big ones, like the big ones of the big banks. It's just what they're doing. You cannot believe that it's allowed, and it's not allowed. But they're so powerful. They're basically buying the guy that's supposed to invest to look up for them, like the SEC. They have no power whatsoever because they want to go work for that bank after. So if they want the job, they're not gonna cause trouble. So what they get, it's like a little banker that did a fraud on the side, but the whole money deal is a fraud at the end of the day. They're doing what they want, and 50% of what these big banks like JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs are doing isn't even registered anywhere. We don't, like, 50% we know what they're doing with the money. The other half of the money in the world, we have no idea what is happening with this. And it's billions and trillions of dollars. No idea what they're doing. They're just inventing stuff. I talked about it with like one of my good friends, Dan, for like hours, and I just couldn't believe what the hell they were doing, and they're still doing it. And it's why we're going to go in the next economic crisis eventually, because this system just doesn't work anymore. Like, too many people had too many good ideas. Oh, let's create this product to just make my money disappear from there, but to go there, no one can touch my money because I just created this new kind of account, whatever. Nothing's working anymore. They're just inventing new rules, and the system is now just working on confidence, really.
Yeah.
It really is. If everyone was like me and like actually looked at what was happening, the stock market would crash directly, because everyone would be okay, that's nonsense, and get the fuck my money the fuck out of there. But right now it's still working because everyone's believing that it's, quite a good system.
And I also think part of the reason why there's like very low adoption from people like that is that, well, obviously people in power and people in banks and stuff like that, they believe very much in institutions and institutionalization of everything. And then you see blockchain, which is, first of all, a almost magical kind of technology that you're like, okay, do you trust it? Do you not trust it? How does it work?
How does it work?
A lot of people don't understand it,
yeah.
And that's perfectly normal. You wouldn't want to try to follow something like the unknown is something you wouldn't want to.
And it's your
pursue,
money,
and it's your money, which is something important.
Actually.
And the fact that the amount of people that I talk about it, and they're like, okay, but who chooses the price of Bitcoin? And I'm just like, well, it's like a market, right? If there's a lot of people that want it, you can sell it at a bigger price. But then but what, is it backed by the US dollar? Like, I don't understand. And like, people really don't understand that there's no institution at all connected to it, and it's like completely independent, and I guess they don't trust it and they don't believe in it and whatever. There's a bunch of reasons why that could be, but the fact that there's no institution attached to it, people are not used to that, and it's
from
I feel like that's why there's not a lot of adoption.
From what from what I know right now about the Bitcoin, I don't know that much. Only what you told me last week.
The Bitcoin
and blockchain, everything. It's awesome. It really is. Like, it's because for the first time in history, you don't have to rely on government, on banks, on people doing what the hell they want with your money anyways. Like, if you think about what's a bank, it's a place that you give your money to, and they use it to make money with it. Like, if everyone was going to the bank today and took off their money, there wouldn't be enough money. They don't have the money. Like, more than half of the money is now moving and the bank is investing it. And they're charging you for the account where you put your money. So they're charging you to use your money to do stuff. That's a bank. That's what it does. But your money is secure. Your money is not even there. Like before, a bank was like, yes, I put my money here. They're putting it in the safe. They're keeping my money. That's what the bank does. Right now, your money is not in a safe. Like basically all the money, when you see someone robbing a bank in a movie, whatever, yes, there's bills, but that's not actually the bank's money. It's just, 1 to 10% of the bank's money that's there. No one really cares about that money. It's just to make like, if someone actually needs cash, we're gonna give it.
Exactly.
But no one needs all of the cash at the same moment. Like not everyone just goes to the bank and takes off all the money.
You're saying everything's built on confidence.
It's all on confidence. We're trusting something that shouldn't be trusted right now, but yeah, still, it's so huge. It's so huge. It's hard to change. But with a technology like blockchain, and I'm not sure, because I see that an economic crisis is coming, a big one. And I don't know what will happen with the blockchain technology and all the Bitcoin and everything, all this, it's not centralized. So it could be the next form. And I don't know about, like, right now I'm talking, like, I don't have any facts to back me up, but it could be the next big thing. It could really be the next big thing, because if the system really fails and people see how bad it was managed again after 2008, how bad the recoup after 2008 was managed, and how bad we are right now, and then a new crisis, everyone loses his job again, maybe they're gonna think about, how about we go to something that's not touched by a bank or a government or anything. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think the blockchain technology is gonna be a huge deal. I'm not sure that it's gonna be the huge thing, but it could be. It's one of the good options. I don't see anything else right now that could like replace it in the economic sector. Taking a bit of diabetes.
Do you want some diabetes?
No, I'll take your diabetes. I had enough diabetes today, man.
I'm sorry, Dina.
So I got off roll with the question. Sorry, but I had to talk a bit about the economy because it's a fun subject. And we're getting fucked soon, my friend. So now you want to go on with what we wanted to talk about today. One of the 20 ideas that we proposed before we actually settled. So Nick was talking to me about a bit of what's happening with Huawei in the States. Huawei. It's a weird company. What's happening is weird. You told me their code is weird. And now the US is not even disclosing why they're banning Huawei from their market in the United States. That's pretty sick. All this confidence shit.
Well, for people that don't know, Huawei is a Chinese phone maker, technology maker, whatever. First of all, they're very important in phones. They just recently passed Apple as second biggest smartphone market share. So Samsung's still first, but they're coming for Samsung. Well, now it might be a little harder. And they passed Apple, which is insane. Apple was is now third. It was second. So they do that. They do telecommunications. They're very big in now that they're trying to push for 5G. So a lot of their equipment, their services, their innovations and patents were being used to create 5G services, like the whole infrastructure for 5G, which you're going to see coming soon, which is new speeds and new technologies in the cell networks and stuff like that. They were part of that a lot. And so I think it's part security. Well, first of all, I think the US government saw them as being, whoa, they just passed Apple, they're coming for Samsung, and when a Chinese company starts taking control, and they make really good phones, like they make really, really good phones. And
for a good price.
They have some flagship phones.
They do, but they actually have products
and stuff like that. And then the US saw them as being a major player in 5G, which is going to be a lot of money, right? Mm-hmm. And a major player in a bunch of other things. And then they started saying, Huawei, we weren't going to work with Huawei for security reasons. So they never actually disclosed to the public what were those security reasons. But I'll talk later that I kind of trust the US government on saying there are security reasons. And I'm all for really good phones and cheap alternatives for competition and stuff like that. But I'll say that the OnePlus phones, you've probably heard of them.
Yeah, I heard of them.
OnePlus 7 Pro right now has a 90 hertz screen. It's a monster phone, and for like 3/4 or 2/3 of the price of
it's insane.
Of like the S10.
Is it the best
iPhone.
phone on the market?
Well, it's the fastest phone on the market.
Yeah.
But like there are some features that they cut off with. It's not technically waterproof certified. It is waterproof but not certified. It doesn't have wireless charging. The cameras aren't that great. Like there's a couple of things they cut off on.
But
for any user,
for the
like,
price,
like I'm as like Samsung fan, always flagship phone and whatever. I have the S10, but like next phone, like they're killing it, and they have like a 90 hertz screen, a bunch of cool stuff. Whatever, we'll see. But my point is, I'm all for good phones, but I would never personally buy a Huawei phone because I actually follow a couple of security researchers on Twitter and stuff like that, and people that do infosec, so information security, and they've always said don't buy a Huawei phone, and I'm just like, why? And then like I started looking up a little more, and these are people that they go and they dig into the source code of those phones, and it's running Android obviously, which is an open platform, but there's a bunch of really sketch things, so they keep on finding random processes or services running on the phone that are just taking data from places and sending them back to an IP that is located in China, an IP address located in China, collecting some data, collecting some I don't know what. We'll put the picture on the computer. Porque, I'll send you the picture we were looking at 2 seconds ago, and basically it's this French researcher that is like that found, and for my friends in that are coding in software engineering or something, there's a bunch of classes in that source code that have really weird names. Like we'll show you in 2 seconds, but it's like investigate family.
You don't have to understand codes to see. It's really weird. Like you're just looking at it. What the hell?
So those are just file
tracking
names.
Your house.
Like it's really weird, and like he goes into those code and he sees that it's doing weird things, and he keeps on posting weird findings, and he's like, never buy a Huawei phone. And so since the beginning, I would have never bought a Huawei phone. I find they're great phones, but I right away would never consider them because of House Info DAO. I don't know what that means.
Legal person.
Like it detects
legal person DAO.
These are just classes, right? But like,
the hell is this?
Usually a class name.
Investigate bank card. No.
You give
Please don't.
You give class names usually very names that are very like relevant to what they do. Investigate family. Investigate vehicle, investigate info. Like there's really weird class names, and they do weird things, sometimes collecting data from the keyboard and stuff like that, sending them back to places where data should not be collected. This is
imagine
privacy
it's like
of
a
users.
huge spying operation from China.
Exactly.
Like
so
it's maybe like just the biggest spying operation
so
ever.
So the United States has not disclosed why they think they're a national threat, but I kind of believe them because I like follow the information being thrown around. Like I feel like they should disclose to the public, and to at least they probably disclose to like Apple and all those companies to tell them don't have like commercial partnerships with this company because of these reasons. They probably had, but I feel like they should tell. I don't know if they should tell the public or not, but whatever. I believe them is my point. But then I don't know how strong the ban should be, but whatever. So the public, so that you guys know, the United States has banned Huawei from selling phones in its country. That has been a while, but now from any US company to do any type of commercial exchange or whatever with Huawei. So companies like Intel that are creating the chips in their computers. Companies like Qualcomm, no, they don't use Qualcomm chips, but like anything. And like it's crazy, a bunch of alliances are created in the United States, or like they follow some United States type of government, so like governance. The SD card, you know what an SD card is, you know the little card you put in cameras and stuff like that. An SD card doesn't really mean anything. It's just a file. It's just like a format of a type of like thing that's going to keep data. But they're not allowed to certify their phones that they can use SD cards. They're not allowed to certify their phones that they use the Wi-Fi alliance. So they technically can't say our phones are Wi-Fi certified. Like they can work with Wi-Fi, but you legit can't write on the box this Huawei phone uses Wi-Fi. Like a bunch of stuff like that, and it's crazy. But so they're completely banned in the US, banned from sales and stuff like that. But Canada seems to be going forward with using them. It seems that
they kind of came from nowhere. Also, Huawei, I don't know. Like for me, maybe you saw them coming a bit more. But when I went to buy my last phone like two years ago, it was the first time that I actually encountered Huawei phones on the tablets.
Now they started in Asia, and then.
No, but I was like, they were looking like fresh phones. I was like, okay, well, that looks good. I had no idea that it even existed. But I think they're also getting like the African market right now. They're huge everywhere
India,
else,
stuff like that.
then the US in the world, they're huge and they're becoming bigger and bigger. And what's happening right now is that China's not happy at all also, and now there's a tariff war between China and the United States that's pretty big. The situation is really interesting between these two countries. It's actually awesome, bro, because like our parents and our grandparents kind of saw the American
Cold War.
Yeah, they saw the Cold War, and that was like the last time that America was actually contested by another big power in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But after the Cold War, America was like pretty much the number one in every category for like power wise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now like China is trying to overtake them, and I think like they're gonna overtake the United States as the number one power. It's not even like a matter of opinion at this point. It's just they have everything going in their favor. Like they have the population, they have the they a good how is it called, classe moyenne, middle class. Yeah, they have a huge middle class getting bigger and bigger, and the country's economy, technology, everything is just booming. Okay. And right now, like, it's basically like a war between, because in history there was always like this kind of contest. There's the big power in place and the rising one, and who's gonna finish on top. And usually it resulted in a war. So if you follow history, you could see a war coming between the US and China. And right now it starts with the economy. But also for the first time I don't agree with the people that are saying that there's necessarily going to be a war because it happened in history, because right now we're just living in a completely new society, and their economic links are too big. Yeah. It's massive. They both go bankrupt. Well, they're already both bankrupt, but they literally go bankrupt if they go to war, because, and even right now it's actually so funny to see them doing an economic war when they cannot actually do anything because they are dependent of each other. Like China's depending on the US is depending definitely on China, so they're just putting sanctions. No, this product doesn't go in, but they can't. Like Trump said that he was gonna ban everything. He said that he was gonna put tariffs on everything that comes from Mexico. That he can do. It's pretty dumb, but he can do. Well, in my opinion, it's pretty dumb. If you like this kind of economic policy, you can be happy with that. But with China, he just can't do that. Like, he's not even gonna have an economy anymore. So it's actually huge tensions. Huawei is putting the fire in all this shit because it's basically a huge spying network. Well, at least the United States thinks so. So interesting, bro, because imagine actually knowing. Like right now we're speculating. Yeah, that it's maybe a big spy network. Maybe someone, the CIA, just freaking knows. Yeah, and he's like,
it must be crazy.
Holy shit!
But like the crazy thing is that like this can actually really destroy Huawei, because I'm not sure, but I think like unlike Samsung, the phones are like 20% of their business, right?
Yeah.
But I think Huawei, it's like a massive chunk of their business. They have 5G too, but they are like in their 5G telecommunications equipment, they are like a bunch of countries are following the US and saying, okay, we won't use your stuff, so that can hurt them. But in the phone market, you know how when you buy an iPhone, you have the Apple Store, right?
Yeah.
When you buy any Android phone, which is a bunch of manufacturers use Android, right? It's just like iOS, but like on a bunch of phones. They use the Play Store, right? To download apps.
Yeah.
You use the Play Store. But since Google cannot license Huawei anymore, no Play Store. So Huawei is literally saying we're going to create our whole new operating system. So their phones is not going to run on Android anymore. It's going to run on something new. And even Windows laptops can't have Windows anymore on it. And they obviously can't have Mac OS. So what do you do? What operating system do you run? And they said that they're creating their own operating system in-house, which is, first of all, crazy because they have the resources to create a whole new operating system. But is Facebook going to make an app for the Huawei store? Is Snapchat going to make it?
Not necessarily.
I don't think they're going to make it. And first of all, like, depending on how Trump sets up the ban, maybe they won't even be allowed to make it. But like, this can actually make them fail. If you can't use Android or the Play Store, remember we were talking about they have the monopoly of like being like mobile stores, John,
yeah,
to download apps. if they can't use that, like who's gonna buy a Huawei phone if you can't?
Well, it's basically what happened with BlackBerry.
Exactly.
If I'm not mistaken. Well, they tried to go like full on independent,
And they failed.
No one actually decided to do their app on their supporting system. So at the end of the day, they just didn't have the apps.
Exactly.
Without the apps, you're just like, okay, well, I'm not gonna have this phone without Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, whatever you want on your phone.
Yeah, like
Just
it could
not
be a
gonna do
great phone hardware wise, but if you can't have those apps, like we live for apps. We're in an apps age. Like
Well,
you need an app. Everything has an app.
When I use my phone, I don't actually use the phone that much.
Yeah,
It's more about
exactly.
using the apps on it.
Exactly.
So it's how it runs the apps. But right now, Huawei could take it a hard hit on this one.
No, but just on the technology side, it's gonna be really, really interesting how they
It's
come back
actually
from this.
it's impressive to see like what the US could actually do. Like they actually did they told everyone you don't work with Huawei anymore.
Yeah. Now they
And-
gave them a 90-day period.
And is it a law? Did they like? Is it actually like?
I have no idea.
Imagine they can actually make probably
Wait, what do you mean?
like a law. Imagine they're saying that like they told Google you're not gonna work with Huawei anymore.
No, yeah, I think it was an administrative order. Is that?
Yeah.
I think it
Well,
was.
from the president directly. Yeah. So just the power that they have to just decide to shut down one of the biggest companies in the world.
China is just like, all right, you just did that to Huawei.
Yeah.
They're legit making a list of like all the companies they're gonna block from talking to China, and like, I wonder what's gonna happen because, like, let's say China actually threatens that, but then like, is the U.S. government just gonna backtrack and say finally they're not a national threat? Like
Right now it's pretty weird,
Yeah,
And
like
if it's actually from what you just like showed with all the weird names, it really sounds like a spying device, like literally.
But I feel like it's less a spying device and just they don't care about privacy and they're tracking everyone. I think it's like I feel like it's less we're trying to spy on specific people in the United States, more like we're just
The thing
collecting
is,
data on a bunch of people in the world.
The relation between China and Chinese companies is really different from the relation from Google and the American government. It's not as independent. In China, they have a lot of power over their companies, and sometimes they're giving like billions of dollars to their companies to succeed. From a libre marché standpoint, free market standpoint, China is not the cleanest player. Let's just say. Well,
Okay.
no one really is. The United States are not so clean either, but China, they're giving loads of money sometimes to like national companies that are then going private, and from there, they have
Quickly,
like
if you can look up, we were asking before, is Huawei subventionné par
but
the
it probably
Chinese
is.
government?
It probably
Or
is.
like at what extent are they?
Yeah, to what extent? Some companies it's huge, and China is like they're always in international court, economic international court to like solve if it was legal what they did, and it's usually not. But that's the problem with like international laws, is that no one really can actually give you a consequence. At the end of the day, China is like, oh well.
Sorry, I won't do it next time.
I did it, but it took 3 years for you guys to decide that it was actually
And
wrong.
by that time, the company did what I wanted
and it's
it to
actually
do.
good. Now it went private and has like 50% of the market shares in those countries, and you're like, okay, well, but China and the United States, I'm telling you, it's like the next huge thing. And right now, you could actually like the last cover from The Economist was the new Cold War. It's like that a little bit for real, because the United States policy right now with Trump is really dangerous. It is. Can we just remember that Donald Trump is the president of the United States of America?
It's become so normal.
And yeah, we're talking about it. And you know what? We were like, when it was the election, he was saying like all his shit, like everything, like to make the world like, well, what the hell is this guy? We were all shocked. And we were like, imagine if he becomes president, what would he do? And some people were like, nah, he's not gonna do that once he's president. He's still doing it. Like
Honestly,
I gotta give it to the man.
Yeah,
He's
he's delivering on what he said he would actually do.
Well, sometimes it was lies but all politicians lies to some extent. But sometimes like what he was saying was straight out
Oh yeah, like the
not
things you
not
were saying.
doable. Not doable. You know, there's a constitution. Everyone's gonna shit on you, and you know. So sometimes it was just straight out false. But what he did with the wall, you know, he actually couldn't get the money from the Congress because the Congress was the one like that had to approve. He declared an emergency crisis at the Mexican border to get the funds for his wall, and it worked. Like he did get the money, but this guy is the president of the United States. He was elected president of the United States.
It's like a
and
child.
right now, like I'm from my point of view, but it's only me. For me, the U.S. strategy about China is terrible. For me, like they're trying to stop China from becoming number one, but it's still gonna happen. It's still gonna happen.
I feel like they should use China as like a slingshot and then like
well
take their ride their wave.
I'm sorry, but like the pace of history, that's how it works. And you know, Great Britain was the first world power 200 years ago. Today, they're still well off. You know, they're doing well. Well, not right now with the Brexit and everything, but right now it's basically one of the biggest political crises. But you know, they didn't disappear when the U.S. took over as number one. But now the U.S. are basically, if we were living like 150 years ago, I'm pretty sure there would have been a war between the two from the U.S. attitude. The only reason why there's no war is because right now the world would just die. China versus the United States, it's just done deal. Too many nuclear weapons. The AI, what we talked about, AI, military technology, these two are like peaking, the two best in the world basically. And it's crazy, bro. When you look at China, their policy is like they basically have a sheet of what they're doing for the next 5 years until 2050. In 2050, the objective is actually we're number one in this sector. Technology, they're taking over like next level. China is the next big thing, and right now the U.S. are just throwing rocks at it. Like, no, you stay smaller than us. No, it's not gonna happen. Like, they're just big. It's huge. It's a machine. And Donald Trump, man, he's Donald Trump, bro. There's the president of the United States doesn't believe in climate change right now.
Oof, that's the other thing we're gonna talk about.
Is destroying, like, is trying to shut down China when it's just not happening. Every president before him was actually like had not a good policy about China, but kind of a consistency. And he was just like, nah, let's go to war. Nah. Like, nah, it's not the best idea, but it's what he's doing. But what do you think about him? Like, we're never talking really about
Trump?
Yeah, Trump or anything. Like, I read about it every day. I'm like, I never understood if he's dumb or not. I never knew if he was actually dumb or not. Porky.
On that if the Chinese government backs up Huawei, it says, yeah, China supports Chinese enterprises, and it says here, Chinese government swings behind Huawei's battle in the U.S. with ties to Huawei, and China threatened to hit back. So. Okay,
do you know how much money?
No, it's hard to tell.
Honestly, like it's just completely flooded with Trump banning Huawei in the U.S. Like that's I have to like dig to like the 9th page.
Yeah, it's hard to go on the internet now.
Yeah.
For Huawei, but yeah. No, small parenthèse. Well, I thought we were gonna talk about this a little bit, but
sure.
Okay, we were talking about the anti-science movement right now, right?
Yeah.
I know we're completely switching subjects, but whatever. The anti-science movement. People that, first of all, don't believe in science. Second of all, don't believe in climate change. Third, don't believe that Earth is around. And fourth, don't believe in vaccines. Okay, like all four of these things.
What was the first one?
Just don't believe in science.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Not believing in science. Yeah, that happens.
I'll enter in that don't believe in evolution.
Yo, I'm just blown away by these kind of facts. And these are like huge chunks of population, bro.
Massive.
Like all the center of the United States. Like not everyone, and like I'm not saying everyone in every state, but a huge chunk of every people, like of all the population of these states is they're just not believing in science and evolution. And
my head hurts. Like,
yeah, no, but well, can we blame them? Their president is not believing climate change.
No, exactly.
But not sure if he's actually not believing.
Or he's just playing it because...
Well, it got him elected probably. Well, it kind of did because it just goes with his profile.
Yeah.
It's doing a profile of, anti-establishment, and the scientific consensus about climate is that we are ruining the planet. So he just had to go against
it, yeah.
He's just going against every establishment that there was before, and that's how he got elected. So I'm not sure if he truly believes that there's no climate change. But once again, as I said, I'm not sure if he's actually dumb or not, because he could be a genius. Like, he could be a political genius for getting elected at that particular election, and we're not even sure he's going out. He could be reelected. I cannot say for sure that the Democratic Party has an opponent good enough to knock off Trump. So yeah, their president is not believing climate change, so why would they? And well, it goes hand to hand because they're the one that elected him at the end of the day. But they just actually revived some illness that were gone from humanity because they're not giving vaccines. And it's not like what I don't understand is there's actually a consequence. Like, we can clearly see that now your kid is dying. So are you going to believe now, or what is it? Is it God punishment, or?
I don't have the words. Like, I actually...
But why do you... Was that a thing in the past decades, or is that a new thing?
No, but I feel like it's a...
Is that new? Like, I'm actually wondering.
I guess it's just... Well, yeah. Look it up. Like, amount of people that were, like, non-believers in vaccines.
I'm not sure if you can find it, but, is it something new? Because I feel like something new. Like, 10 years ago, I was younger also, but I never heard, like, someone telling me that Earth was flat. Next thing I know, 2014, half the planet is...
If anyone listening to the podcast right now doesn't believe in evolution, believes Earth is flat, believes vaccines automatically cause autism, and doesn't believe climate change is a thing, please reach out. We will sit down with you and we will talk about it.
No, but climate change is a hard one because some quite intelligent people, some people that I really respect, like what they're thinking and everything, 100%. Are not believing in climate change, and it's a possibility that it's actually natural, but from what 90% and more of the scientists are saying, that
it's not natural.
It is human. They're not denying climate change. Denying climate change that's not acceptable.
No, yeah, exactly.
Because it is.
It's literally looking
like
at numbers.
There's measures telling you, no. But is it caused by humans, or is it caused by natural course of the planet?
No one can deny the fact that our effect on the environment right now is not positive, and that there are consequences to it. So, like, that. But
it seems so evident that we're just taking like loads of CO2 from the ground and putting it up in the air. So I don't even get how you could say no, but it's the natural course of the planet. Maybe it's that you believe that the human activity is not strong enough to actually make a difference.
Possibly, or they think humans are the natural course and they're just playing with words. But at that point, they're just shitting.
But like me, like we both respect Peterson.
Yeah,
he's actually not believing in climate change. He's like one of those guys that I would lose the argument against him if we were talking about climate.
This guy with words is just a monster.
No, he's really good. Well, I respect him. I don't respect
everything
his
he
opinions.
Says. No, for sure.
But like some quite intelligent people. So at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, well, what the hell is happening? Because when it goes up the ladder and you realize that some people that you actually do, like not only people without education and everything, someone with a, major degrees in
but I
Ivy
think
League.
Jordan Peterson, like you were saying, he's calling out the methodology, like the scientific process in finding those things, right?
Yeah.
Like he's not saying yes or no, it's true, but he's just saying the scientific process right now we shouldn't make conclusions out of it.
Like from what he saw from the research, he doesn't believe that these research are a good, it's not a good thing to actually explain what's happening. He believes that the research have some flaws and that you shouldn't believe climate change based on those research that most of the world population is believing.
Yeah, I wanna read more on that.
Porky, come to us. Let's go. What's up?
Hold on.
Yeah. The question was, is this shit new or?
Yeah. Well, like I saw like a website. Basically, it said it started in like the 1700s, and then like people like states started banning through the years, starting banning vaccines, and they unbanned them. So it's kind of like a back and forth kind of thing.
1700s? There weren't
The 70s?
vaccines in the 1700s.
Oh, okay, then it was a. You're right. It was a bad website. But anyways, no.
You're going with your sword, getting your vaccine.
Right? Weren't vaccines invented in like 20th
Well,
century?
we passed our.
Yeah. We should have a Google Home here so that we can friggin' okay Google ask for those little.
You have a Google Home.
Yeah, but not here.
Well,
But we have a phone.
getting down. Get it down.
There we go. So like I saw this, basically like the measles cases. So like from 2001, 2015.
Okay, then from this we can probably extrapolate that
Exactly,
people
yeah.
that didn't believe it kind of started in like 10 years ago.
2008, man. The
To be like
crisis,
really like
desperate.
prominent. Also with like social media and stuff, it's like gets bigger and bigger.
2014. Look at that shit.
But that's the problem. It's like I feel like social media and like news spreading so quickly isn't automatically bad or automatically good. It's like you have an opinion. Let's say this is the middle, and then this is the extreme. Like vaccines are really good for you. Vaccines cause autism. If you're just swaying on one side, you will be fed all the information for you to sway all the way to like no, or like all the way yes. So like if you're in the middle, like it could go both ways, and then you're just a lost case either side.
And it's even hard for me when I get my information. Sometimes I feel that I read too much on what I believe.
Yeah, and then you're like, whoa, I want to get the other side.
Like, for me, it's easy to say that climate change is caused by humans because I never actually went deep into details of why someone would not believe in climate change.
Yeah,
I did a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly.
A bit more.
That's why, like, I want to go listen to.
I'm not denying vaccines. Like, these guys are going to some clearly you can see that vaccines helped humanity at the end of the day. Like, maybe it caused some autism, sure, but we got rid of all this bullshit for just first time of history. Like, we didn't, like, not half of the population of a village was dying because of a new illness. U.S. measles case, bro. Like, come on. But
that's literally like 700% more. Like,
it's disgusting. It's disgusting. They're reviving some dead illness. Like these these problems weren't even existing anymore, and now they're back. We're back. Like, we're actually going backwards.
I got 99 problems, but measles is one.
And they're actually fucking dumb.
I also found a pretty cool website, right? It says like, how do vaccines cause autism? And it was a top search.
The first.
Yes.
Wow! Respect to whoever.
Yeah.
Wait, who did that? Go back.
Find him again.
No, it wasn't that.
The vaccine cause history of it.
Brookie, Control Shift T.
Oh shit, man! Google search.
Why? What's going on? Vaccines cause adults.
True. Actually true. Wow.
Oh my god! All the memes of like the
Nice.
child, like just anti-vaxxers in general. But go back up. What does it say? Read the or like who is this page created by?
Read the research collected by American Academy of Pediatrics.
Oh, and you can donate. Enjoy the site. Why not buy me a beer? A good guy.
Wow.
I might buy him a beer.
That's nice.
I don't know who this
2.2
is.
million shares. But yeah, also like memes recently, like a couple months ago, were like focused on like anti-vaxxers.
Yeah, but
That
also
had
like
a pretty
flat
good
Earth
pull too.
and
Yeah.
Yo, you
flat
laugh.
Earth. We have
But like
pictures.
memes are like recently I've been seeing like wholesome memes about climate change.
Yeah.
And it's like I feel like it's like let's say that you're in a meme page group and there are some people that don't believe.
Yeah.
And people post some really good memes and like they're trying to change other
Exactly,
people's
no,
minds.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
like,
they actually have
wow,
like a-
I
they
actually
have like
love
a
memes.
poll.
It's really
Yeah,
wholesome.
The meme culture is something that's so underrated. Like, it's not under.
so
but
cool.
when you think about what's happening with the internet right now, it's like a way of communicating.
No, yeah, it's like
I wouldn't read a text. I'm gonna read
Yeah,
the meme,
read
and
the
you
meme.
get the message.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
you
it's
know, there's
funny,
like,
and we're good at
funny.
making fun of everything.
There's different
like,
opinions. You can go either way. You can put your opinion in the meme. This time, let's do it like that. Let's.
like they ridicule stuff, and then like you can actually like it's like putting a little more fun in the
And
world.
it's
Like
getting like I feel like it's getting better and better, like more intelligent. Like the memes are more researched than before. Before it was just like dumb stuff.
There was a moment in memes where it was like deep fried memes where it was like someone T-posing and then like lasers coming out of the eyes and it was like,
and you don't know what the hell was happening back then, but right now it's like sometimes you're like, well, nice one.
Yeah, you're like, whoa, sick.
Man, never thought about this shit. So the meme culture, bro, it's pretty crazy. That's for sure. Also, I wanted to go about like a theory of evolution. That I just believe that it's religion that is just. When you're too.
We'll have a conversation about that.
No, well, I'm gonna have a little conversation right now with myself. But
I have so much to say.
It's all right, like to believe in the Bible, but make some adjustment with what the science is doing. Also, like no one can deny that God exists. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know, but someone like I cannot convince anyone that God doesn't exist, that the religion is false, blah blah. But there comes a point where like, I understand, but this is so much more logic than what your book is giving us right now. So could you just please maybe teach it in your schools? Just try to teach.
But that at least like
science.
Now I think they're teaching evolution. Right?
Not everywhere.
Not everywhere?
Not everywhere. In the United States, there's some states that are not teaching fucking evolution. And it's one of the sickest theories of all. Like Darwin killed it.
Yeah.
Like it's so sick.
And it makes so much sense.
It makes so much. For thousands of years, we had no idea what the hell was going on. And he was just like, maybe it works like that. And it makes so much sense. It's one of the best theories ever made. Is it even a theory at this point? Like, is it still considered a theory? Because we don't know, but we do.
But like you can, I think if you argument that it's a theory, like everything's a theory at that point. It's like then gravity becomes a theory and no.
Yeah.
Things that we've just accepted at this point, they're not theories anymore. I guess they're. Quand il y a clairement genre un consensus, like I think like gravity, what's the other word? Like electromagnetism and stuff like that. Like those are like things that we've accepted. Like.
Ouais, mais c'est parce que c'est juste tellement la théorie d'évolution, c'est tellement sick, juste comme la première fois que tu l'as appris, bro, tu te rappelles, ça fait tellement de sens que juste les meilleurs survivent, les autres meurent, fait que les gènes les meilleurs. C'est tellement une bonne théorie. Et là, il y en a qui sont comme nah. Parce que c'est pas dans la Bible. Ouais, mais comme la Bible, genre, ça a quand même été écrit il y a vraiment longtemps. On est d'accord? Et je suis sûr que s'il avait écrit, genre, au moment de la théorie de l'évolution, même le gars qui l'écrivait, ou c'est plus qu'une personne, mais les personnes qui ont écrit la Bible, auraient eux-mêmes, genre, fait des petits ajustements, tu sais. Ils avaient juste pas pensé à ça à ce point-là, genre. Mais là, Darwin a dead. Est-ce qu'on pourrait juste acknowledge ça? Ben, en fait, au Canada, on est vraiment bon. On a tous acknowledge ça. J'ai appris ça à l'école, je suis vraiment content. Mais imagine, il y a des gens qui vraiment, genre, c'est comme s'ils enseignent ça à l'école, ils enlèvent leurs enfants de l'école. Les États-Unis, c'est un de ces pays fuckés. Parce que t'as vraiment tout le spectrum de l'humanité.
C'est un de ces pays fuckés.
C'est fucké, non, mais c'est le spectrum, bro. Comme, tu passes, comme New York, comme, tu vas voir, genre, dans les personnes les plus intelligentes de la planète, genre, des grosses research, c'est là qui est comme, tu sais, fine point de la technologie, Silicon Valley, insane, l'innovation, blablabla. Et là, t'as le milieu. Est-ce que t'es comme, mais qu'est-ce qui se passe ici?
Oh, Alabama!
Genre, qu'est-ce qui s'est passé quand vous devriez aller voir les côtes un peu, tu sais? Aller voir les côtes, aller voir ce qui se passe là-bas, parce que c'est pas le même monde, genre, je comprends pas. Et je te jure que, tu sais, mettons, toute mon évolution, mettons, jusqu'à temps que j'avais 16 ans, genre, je pensais que les États-Unis, c'était comme bon, I guess. Et là, à some point, j'ai fait comme, what the hell is happening? Comme quand tu réalises comme la place prééminente que même la religion a dans la politique, tu sais, comme religion et politique, c'est encore un thing, comme c'est comme what the fuck is happening, genre, non, pour vrai.
Ben, comme avec l'abortion ban puis toutes ces affaires dégueulasses.
Abortion ban, comme qu'est-ce qui se passe?
C'est juste du monde con. C'est acheter du monde.
Mais ça, c'est des lois, bro. L'abortion ban, c'est des juges de la Cour suprême.
Leurs yeux sont juste fermés.
Est-ce qu'on peut se rendre compte que pour devenir un juge de la Cour suprême, bro, le processus, c'est pas moi ou toi demain. Genre, il faudrait pour devenir. Moi, mettons, juge de la Cour suprême du Canada, que je travaille my ass pour les 50 prochaines années. 50 prochaines années, que je sois un fou boy dans le droit. Okay? Aux États-Unis, c'est que éventuellement t'es nommé par le président, t'es nommé pour le reste de ta vie, tout ça, mais Ça, c'est 9 des individus intellectuellement les plus poussés, comme avec le plus gros IQ. Et eux votent encore en 2019 pour l'abortion. Puis,
la seule...
là, en ce moment, aux États-Unis, c'est légal. L'abortion sauf là maintenant avec, dans certains États. Les États ont été capables de renverser ça des fois. Mais le vote était 5 contre 4. Juge à la Cour suprême.
Attends, que
vote,
l'abortion soit légal?
Pour que l'abortion soit légal, c'était 5 contre 4. Okay. C'était un tight fucking contest. 5 contre 4. Ça n'a pas fait 9-0. 5 contre 4. C'est insane. Et ça, c'est des gens qui... Comme, genre, si tu leur parles, tu comprends même pas le amount de knowledge qu'il y a dans leur tête. Je parle pour la plupart. Il y a des juges de la Cour suprême, éventuellement, que comme... T'es comme... Ok, genre, lui, c'était comme plus un political game, mais de base, pour te rendre là, il faut que t'aies fait du sale. Bon, après ça, il y a des exceptions, mais genre, des gens qui sont là, puis 54. Abortion.
C'est crazy, bro.
Puis il y a tout le débat aux États-Unis, est-ce que la Constitution doit être vue comme quelque chose qui évolue avec le temps ou que ça doit être vu comme quand les pères fondateurs l'ont écrite?
Ouais, est-ce que c'est absolu, genre?
Mais quoi? C'est écrit en 1750, genre.
Ben, c'est comme...
Très précisément en 1776. Tu me niaises? Comme, genre, ils avaient des esclaves.
Non, mais c'est...
Les gars qui l'écrivaient avaient parfois des esclaves.
Arrête. Tu me kills.
Non, mais yo, je comprends pas. Non, les États-Unis, c'est un de ces trucs que je comprends pas. Ça, c'est les juges de la Cour suprême.
Non, mais ça, comme... Je sais pas quoi dire.
Second Amendment, qu'est-ce qui se passe là?
Non.
Yes, les gars,
non, on parlait
tout le monde a
des
des fusils.
C'est comme...
Et quoi? Il y a actually tous des fusils.
J'adore le meme. Il y a un meme qui est comme... Tu sais, il y a quelque chose d'autre qui s'est passé la semaine passée à Virginia Beach, hein, un autre shooting.
Ah, wow, quelle surprise.
C'est comme...
Une autre personne a utilisé son arme.
C'est comme... Le meme, c'est comme... we don't know how to fix this problem. Says the only country where guns are fucking, like, legal.
C'est tellement ça.
C'est comme...
C'est tellement ça.
Allô? Regarde-nous.
Et là, comme...
Regarde-nous. Nous, on est chill.
On est tous corrects. Tout le monde dans le monde est correct. Tout le monde.
C'est un problème
et là...
qui devrait rester en 1777.
Non, mais c'est parce que quand tu regardes pourquoi il y avait ce amendment...
Il y a une raison, ouais.
Ils avaient des mousquets.
et ils essaient de repousser, genre, une autre nation de comme des calices de
non,
mon
mais c'est que
genre.
si le power becomes so tyrannical that...
Okay, ouais.
Cool, tu vas pouvoir renverser ton gouvernement parfait. Avec tes mousquets.
Bro,
parce que
c'est un bullet à chaque 30 secondes, bro. Tu mets de la peau.
Bro, les meilleurs tireurs le faisaient en 19 secondes. C'est comment que tu tues le village, bro? C'est comment? Tu rentrais dans l'école et quoi? Genre, ok?
Tu tuais le
une personne. Et là, ouais, ça marchait pas. Mais là, maintenant, tu peux avoir un tank. C'est pas la même chose.
Je pense que c'est sûrement possible de t'acheter de manière privée un tank.
C'est quoi maintenant que tu vas faire? Tu vas renverser le gouvernement avec des armes. Quand il y a des drones.
Plein de AR-15, genre.
Il y a des drones. On s'en fout de ton automatique. Ça s'appelle un assault rifle. My protection. Assault rifle.
Ah, puis là, j'ai fait
c'est
un
le contraire.
à Brébeuf sur ça. C'était tellement drôle. Le monde qui se pense, ils se disent responsible gun owners.
Ouais.
Sont comme, they put their guns in a safe, right? Pour pas que leur kid shoot, ok?
Ouais.
Comment tu te défends?
Si ton gun est dans
le safe. Ah, désolé, monsieur. Attends 8 secondes que je sorte mon gun de mon safe. Il sort le gun. Là, on continue le gunfight. C'est quoi,
non, ça marche pas. Mais ça,
c'est comme illogique. C'est des murs de logique que, comme... Je suis sûr que tu demandes à cette personne-là et il tourne tellement en rond. À la fin, il va juste dire... Yeah, but it's my second amendment right, bro. Get the fuck out of here, genre. C'est comme legit. Ça va être la sorte de personne qui va juste comme...
God, bro. C'est tout ce qu'ils ont, c'est de dire qu'ils aiment leur gun. C'est le seul bon argument qu'ils ont d'avoir des fusils, c'est de dire qu'ils aiment leur fusil. Et c'est correct d'aimer le fusil.
Ouais.
T'aimes ton fusil, je comprends pourquoi tu veux le garder. Tu veux pas que je t'enlève ton fusil. C'est comme un jouet, genre je t'enlève ton jouet, t'es piste. Mais ça veut pas dire que c'est une bonne chose que tu l'ailles. Puis dis-moi pas que c'est une bonne chose que tu l'as.
Genre, comme si tu peux être assez lenient que... On va dire que tu veux faire du hunting. Ok, on te passe un gun qui avec des gros bullets que genre... Ou whatever, je sais pas, des bullets spéciales qui font mal. Non, pas qui font mal. Non, mec, ça serait des bullets normaux. Mais whatever, quelque chose qui shoot une fois à 30 secondes, ok, genre... Mais comme...
Ouais, mais...
C'est comme... C'est des...
Au Canada, il y a des guns pour aller chasser.
Ouais,
tout.
Mais c'est ça.
C'est correct, comme, va faire ta chasse.
Et c'est aussi... Ça doit être un changement de culture.
Mais t'es pas supposé pouvoir te promener avec ton gun sur le côté de ton
Tu peux pas être
C'est comme une
quelqu'un
merde.
qui adore ça, genre, t'aimes toujours.
Et chaque fois qu'il y avait un shooting, je te jure, parce que moi j'ai fait beaucoup de.
Bro, joue à Call of Duty, bro, si t'as l'envie. Ou genre, va faire du paintball, ça.
J'ai fait tellement de recherches sur comme Obama dans mes comme genre pendant moi le cégep en tout cas j'ai fait un gros projet là-dessus et lui genre à chaque fois qu'il y avait un school shooting take zéro, il essayait de passer une législation qui allait, tu sais, peut-être qu'on pourrait juste enlever le gros gun ou comme pas laisser quelqu'un qui a été diagnostiqué de la schizophrénie avec le gun, tu sais, genre des shit vraiment simples et c'était bloqué.
Ouais,
ça
non,
ne passe pas
bro.
parce que le lobby est trop fort et là tu rentres dans une autre beauté des États-Unis, leur système est juste corrompu genre. Mais comme ouvertement corrompu. Et t'es comme what the fuck. Et là tu dégaines de plus en plus. T'es comme ok, tu ne crois pas à la science. Tout le monde a des fusils. Il y a des school shootings à chaque semaine.
Bro, c'est
et ton political system ne marche pas.
Haché de Moyen-Âge, comme straight.
Mais je comprends
comme
pas.
les États-Unis, c'est un petit enclos du Moyen-Âge. C'est comme, tu sais, hey, les.
Mais le pire, c'est
on vous met dans
que
un
tu sais, comme
spot.
aux États-Unis, le truc, c'est que les États ont un gros contrôle aussi. Comme chaque État a un contrôle sur ce qu'il fait, genre, vraiment beaucoup. Fait que c'est actually une mosaïque. T'as des fois.
Ouais, 100%.
Des fois, c'est comme, oh wow, c'est bien ici, on
Quand
dead.
tu regardes la Californie, genre, tu sais, c'est comme, wow,
nice,
ça a l'air
Californie,
avancé.
bien joué. À New
New
York,
York.
qu'est-ce qui se passe? Après ça, tu sais, tu descends, Boston, ok, cool, le Maine, je vais aller pêcher mon mort, cool. Mais là, tu rentres en Alabama et t'es comme, bro, c'est rendu quoi, là? Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé ici? Genre, c'est...
C'est le 13th District. Dans
Je ne comprends pas. Ben, yo, les États-Unis, c'est fascinant parce que, genre, je te jure, ma perception de ce pays quand j'étais comme vraiment plus jeune, c'était tellement comme, wow, genre, ils ont
C'est
dead.
cool, genre.
C'est cool, ils ont tout, genre, blablabla.
Le cool uncle, genre.
Ouais, et là, un jour, tu comprends que, comme, non. Ben,
Finalement,
oui,
c'est l'oncle
comme-
violeur vraiment
Non,
attardé.
c'est vraiment weird. C'est vraiment weird. Ben, vas-y, ils vont faire des leçons sur la scène internationale, tu sais. Genre, si ça respecte pas nos valeurs, blablabla. Yo, tes valeurs, les tabarnak. Yo, des fois, on sait pas. On sait pas parce que t'es pas de ban des guns quand les enfants viennent se faire tirer dessus.
Je suis
genre.
dans un. On doit faire une liste, on n'avait pas dit à la fin, je suis dans un podcast, mais je suis dans un podcast like, comme les États-Unis, que de la merde.
Ben, c'est un
On
peu ce
roast
qui
les
vient de se
États-Unis.
passer.
Ouais, mais bien, on va bien en détail. Tu comprends?
Ouais.
Porky nous pull up les facts.
Ouais.
Et comme
On prend les graphiques de comme, genre, la courbe de school shooting aux États-Unis, la courbe de tous les autres pays de la planète.
La courbe des criminaux. Abortion becomes legal. Boom, les criminaux.
Cold, hard-hitting facts.
Non, mais tu sais de quoi je parle, right? Genre, je sais pas c'est quelle année, genre, abortion became legal, et là, genre, 20 ans plus tard, c'est une courbe qui fait genre 20 ans, les criminaux descendent, genre, la criminalité descend de genre, oh, pull that up.
Attends, mais pourquoi? Comme c'est quoi?
Criminality rate lowers with abortion.
Explique-moi le lien de causalité, s'il te plaît.
L'abortion devient légale,
Ouais.
donc le monde vraiment pookie ou pas dans des bonnes situations peuvent maintenant faire des abortions.
Oh!
Leurs enfants ne deviennent pas des délinquants, parce que, honnêtement, comme...
Oh my god!
Quand t'es dans la dèche, c'est le path normal et le plus haut pourcentage te set up pour devenir un délinquant. Comme délinquant dans le sens, comme j'ai fait
Tes
mon
parents
cours
s'occupent
sur
pas de
choses,
toi, genre t'as
délinquant,
pas vraiment une situation sociale avantageuse,
ouais,
t'es dans une
ou
école de merde.
ou parents uniparentales ou whatever,
Ouais,
comme
ça
eux
va
ont
mal.
plus de chances de ça
des
va de
drogues.
pas bien aller. Et là ensuite, comme tu brises le cycle, genre. Ah, je l'avais dans mon cours de criminalité, c'était sick. J'adore mon prof. Prof de criminalité, si t'écoutes ça. Criminalité et justice.
Il y a un nom.
Ah, c'était vraiment dope.
Tu vois, je l'ai appris, prof de criminalité.
Parce que j'ai oublié son nom. Je me sens mal.
C'était pas awkward du tout, c'est
Non,
bon.
mais là, on attend Perky, c'est pas awkward.
Non.
Tu veux un sucre?
Laisse mon... bro. Arrête d'essayer de me donner le diabète, bro. C'est un autre truc, c'est le pays le
Perky,
plus
go and
obèse.
Google Images.
Le
Just...
plus obèse de la planète.
Ok, attends, je veux pas que le...
Est-ce qu'on peut parler quick de... C'est quoi le American food culture? Tu sais, chaque pays a sa culture culinaire. Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé là, man? Les Italiens font leurs pâtes, leurs pizzas. Genre, Français, t'as le bon pain, blablabla, tout ce que tu veux. Et là, aux États-Unis, t'as tous les trucs de friture qui rendent tout le monde obèse. Ils sont le tiers obèse.
And not to mention, in the summer, us we have the dollar drink menu. Like, and over there they have 2 for $5 meals. So you get 2 meals for $5.
C'est quand même des food deals.
Wait, Perky, okay, just find me the year abortion was legalized in the United States.
Ça va être comme fin 70, je pense.
Ça va être comme 85, quelque chose comme ça.
C'est quoi, tu veux montrer le graphique?
Ouais.
Ok.
Legalization of abortion US.
You, les graphiques, sur quel?
1973, ok?
Yeah, 1973.
So 1973, c'est actually drôle. Comme, juste montre ce graph à quelqu'un pour qu'il je t'envoie l'image, parce que vraiment, c'est pas passé.
Because like I can't find like ones that talk about abortion, but like
No,
it says the crime rates.
Here, there.
Parfait.
Perps.
Ce sont les crans.
Postnatal perps. Perpetrators. Perps. Perps. Okay, so remember, legalization of abortion, 73.
73.
Okay, yeah? How much time does it take for those kids to become adults at that time?
Bro.
Let's say 20 years.
Ouais, 20 ans.
Look at the graph.
93.
Well, basically, for the people on the podcast, I will explain the graph. The graph goes down.
Yeah.
It's so simple. Criminality just goes down. Like it's
The graph goes down. What's up, The Economist?
yeah, right there. So
Meilleur graphique.
violent
Economist.
crimes, property crimes, murder, they just go 1985. Well, they're still going up, and then 91. When did we say was
93.
abortion?
Bah, 91.
So people
17 ans.
17, 18, 19, 20 ans, quand t'es
Ouais.
plus délinquant, boom, drops by a lot. Drops by like half. Let's say this is the 120 mark. They're all around the 60, 80 mark, almost half.
C'est crazy.
This is a very simple graph, very easy to understand, that explains many things. There's probably some flaws with this graph you can pull out, that it doesn't take into account variable X, variable Y. But,
In
like,
general.
thank you very much.
Mais imagine, genre, tu sais, juste l'intensité qu'il y a eu après que les States ont. Juste, certains États ont fucking legalized. Rendu criminel l'abortion.
Ouais, on verra. Dans 20 ans, on verra.
Mais imagine, oui, dans 20 ans on verra, mais imagine maintenant que comme la Cour suprême renverse le jugement. Parce que tout ce que tu as besoin, c'est d'un juge conservateur de plus que de juges libéraux.
Ouais.
Et en ce moment, on est encore dans une position 5 libéraux, 4 conservateurs aux États-Unis. Mais change ça, genre, mettons le prochain juge qui meurt, qui est un libéraux.
Shit.
Là, en ce moment, c'est Trump qui est au pouvoir. Trump
Actually-
va mettre un
actually,
conservateur.
il va mourir, on
Et
doit-
t'es un. Bro, eux, ils ont une responsabilité de survivre. Comme pour vrai.
Straight.
Comme dans leur tête. Comme même eux le perçoivent que comme un. Parce
Ouais.
qu'un juge de la Cour suprême est élu jusqu'à sa mort.
Ouais.
Ok? Ou jusqu'à temps qu'il prenne sa retraite, mais sa retraite va venir comme. Il y en a qui ont 93 ans et qui ont déjà été jugés. Comme
Ok,
ça
ok,
dure,
ouais.
ils sont là.
Ouais.
Et ceux qui sont libéraux, et ça, c'est des firm believers dans l'abortion, des choses comme ça. Dans l'avortement, excusez. Et eux doivent tellement sentir la responsabilité de ne pas mourir pendant
Ouais, en ce moment, parce que ça, comme-
un président conservateur est au pouvoir.
Ils
Là,
savent qu'il meurt, comme ça part en
ouais,
couille.
le juge est nommé et Trump va mettre un juge
Ouais, à base.
qui supporte tu sais, le plus son mode de pouvoir, genre, c'est-à-dire un juge plutôt conservateur. Et là, ça peut flip le judgment. Comme là, c'est bien, ils ont fait ça en 73,
Ouais.
mais ils peuvent littéralement renverser. Puis là, t'as vu ce que ça a fait, juste tu sais, la réaction sociale qui est ressortie de la légalisation dans.
C'est crazy.
C'est-tu juste l'Alabama qui l'a fait?
En
tout cas,
et
c'est-
comme
c'est-
un autre, je pense
En tout cas,
dans
dans mettons 2-3 États, ok? La réaction que ça a fait, imagine les États-Unis. Ah,
ouais, ça serait crazy. Ok.
ok.
J'ai juste même comme. C'est comme, c'est des choses que tu disais, ça allait pas se passer. Ah, Trump président, et là c'est rendu normal. C'est des choses que tu veux pas qu'il se rende
Trump
normal.
président,
tu
je me
veux
rappelle.
pas qu'il se rende, que ça soit quelque chose de normal.
Je sais
que
pas si toi tu
everyday.
checkais comme Election Night, moi je checkais
Ouais.
comme à la télé et j'étais là puis je regardais, j'étais comme.
Ouais.
J'étais avec mon frère puis on riait, on se regardait, on était comme qu'est-ce qui s'est passé?
Ça part en couille.
Non mais c'est.
Hey, je pense que ça fait longtemps, 1h13. Wow.
Ok. On a parlé des États-Unis.
On
a
pensait
bien-
que ça allait être un quick podcast, finalement c'est un long
Finalement,
one.
c'est un long one.
Alright, so le normal outro. Merci beaucoup d'avoir écouté. Merci pour le feedback. Merci pour les likes, les shares, tout ça. Smash that like button. We love all your support and everything.
Didn't have more.
Ouais, j'ai more interviews this week. Okay, and so, thank you very much. We'll see you in episode 7. This was episode 6 of Truth Seekers. Any closing words, Philippe?
Merci beaucoup. Je vais juste le faire en français. Merci beaucoup d'avoir écouté. Toujours très apprécié. Feedback, on le prend comme toujours. Les questions, awesome. Happy to answer all the time. Interaction, c'est la base. Passez une belle semaine et on se revoit dans le prochain épisode. Bye.
Peace.